We could call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Barr.
Here.
Giovannini.
Here.
Eckhoff.
Here.
Callis.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Hauser.
Here.
Bradshaw.
Here.
Cranford.
Here.
Howard.
Here.
Willie.
Thank you. Moving on, we have the consent agenda with 4 items. If we've had a moment to look those over.
I'll motion acceptance of the consent agenda. I'll second.
Motion by Kelly, seconded by Jamie. Roll call, please.
Barr.
Yes.
Giovannini.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Hauser.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Cranford.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Thank you. On the regular agenda, item A is Block 59 Incubator Plan. I think Misty Bell is going to talk to us on that.
How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Tonight I'm bringing to you our Market 59, which are the 3 little shops down on Washington. I gave you some information that we are going to hopefully be able to disseminate after today. A nice pamphlet that kind of describes the incubator program that we want to put forth, which discusses the space, the costs will be reduced, different things we're asking them to partake in, startups, the time period, and what resources will help them have access to. I'm also including the good faith commitment that we're wanting them to sign on for, as well as the application that they would fill out. I didn't include the lease because it's just the typical lease that went with the program before, that all the details were already hammered out and that type of thing, except for cost, we would do that. But the good faith effort commitment is really important because what we're asking is that they not only participate in monthly reviews with our economic vitality panel and participate in our monthly huddles and different events, but a huge part of our incubator would that we would ask them to work with the SBDC and SCORE Peoria. Included in what I'm asking for tonight is that I would like us to have an agreement with the SBDC. Ours is the Starved Rock Country Alliance. I met with Amy Lambert, and we need them for this to be a viable, successful incubation. And for that will put these startup businesses eventually to go into a brick and mortar building in our, hopefully in our downtown, but at least in our community. For a $3,000 commitment with the SBDC, that will bring us them to town, and it will be a relationship that I know will grow. Part of that, I mean, if you're all not familiar with the SBDC, it's a small business development center, and they help with legal, financial, ethical, regulatory matters such as health, environment, civil rights, zoning. They help with writing the business plan and helping them with product and service development, all the way through management, personnel, marketing, networking, IT, quality control, customer relations. They do it all. What they don't do specifically just through Amy, she has a panel of people that are experts in their different areas that help. And I don't think that we will have successful businesses in this incubator if we don't give them the professional resources. I don't want someone's dream in my hand. I don't think anybody does, but we want to take their dream and put it in the right hands. So if we get into a relationship with them and offer them space here in our community, in City Hall for them to meet, I know right now they meet in they have what they call the decentralized office. It's moving throughout their district. So they meet in Peru, Morris, Ottawa, and Princeton at the moment, and we could add to that. We could be a location where they would come and meet with not just new businesses, but also our existing businesses who might find that they're struggling or in one area or in all areas. I think it's important that, again, we give them those resources. SCORE Peoria, I don't know if you're familiar with that. They're just established business people that are mentors. We have one that is a Livingston County representative. She comes out of Streeter, and we want them to work with those people as well. And those services are at no cost to these businesses. So it's not like we're asking them to invest more money into getting resources, but we want them to know that running a business takes a huge investment, not just to stand behind a cash register or in your store, but in learning your trade, in protecting your dream and doing it the right way so that we can get you into a brick and mortar building and they can become mentors for the next round. So I'm excited about this program. I think that this is what Main Street is all about, is people with dreams, and we're being able to facilitate helping them find the resources to make those dreams reality, which put businesses in our downtown, which put places for our community to go and to see that our local people, and not always local people, but people that want to come to Pontiac and make this their home because they know they can make their dreams a reality here. So I feel very passionate about this. I took the program in front of my Economic Vitality Committee, and then I sought out lots of discussions with lots of other people, including Amy Lambert, and I feel very confident in the program and that we'll tweak it as it needs to be tweaked, but I'm ready to roll out taking applications and utilizing those shops. We need to fill them. So I'm asking for your good faith effort approval of this program, and I would like to see us partner with the SBDC at the $3,000, which is the lowest amount. I think eventually we will need to up that as we see how great their resources are and bring them to town more and more and more, because I also think that people need to see that Pontiac not only supports small business, but invests in them investing in us. So,
Misty, that's a much more wholesome approach. That's what we are lacking in the start of this. I think this gives, in my opinion, this looks like it gives great support to someone trying to come in and sample the opportunity to do a business and eventually move into thing. And we weren't that successful. I mean, we had Lola's do a great job with us and
Absolutely.
move on to something. This is a backdoor support for them. I like that. It's good.
thank you.
What will our upfront cost be?
For the SBDC or for the new businesses?
Well, for Peoria.
SCORE Peoria is at no cost. They're just a mentor, and I know that we have a person that handles us. $3,000, and there will be an in-kind donation of allowing them to use our conference room when they come to town, so that they can have private one-on-one.
Sure.
Tiff?
TIF,
Pay for
yes,
this?
it'd be a redevelopment
TIF.
project.
It's
Yeah,
a-
I think what interests me the most about it is having this plan. Missy's worked hard on this plan, and having it as a developmental plan for not just new business, but the SBDC would be here and available for existing businesses. So even if we have a business that may be wondering what's next for them, or just because you've had a business for a few years doesn't mean that you might not still need a business plan and to keep things going. So I really like it. It's not that big of an investment from the TIF to give it a shot and see how it works out, and hopefully we have some fantastic success.
Misty, have you had a chance at all to talk with Marlon about like the Happy Hedgehog and what he does with that?
Absolutely. I sat down with him and his wife, and we had about an hour and a half conversation, and because I wanted to pick his brain on how it worked, and I think that He gave me a lot of good information. He likes how he is handling things. I think we complement each other well. And we both kind of came to the agreement that there's no boundary on how much we need this. It could be not just us and not just him, and maybe someone else even, the more that you can do it. I mean, most communities, what y'all have done with bringing these shops here, that's amazing. Most communities are begging landlords to give breaks to have an incubator, like, hey, can we use your space? So the fact that we have that and that he has his space, that's huge. That's the biggest hurdle that you don't have to hurdle at this moment. Now we're just kind of like ready to implement and go. And yeah, I think he'll be a great resource. I asked him to sit on the panel. He didn't have any interest at this moment, which is totally fine. But I know that he's someone I can pick brains with. And I also think that he's someone, if we should come to have a plethora of applications, if we found that we had people that didn't fit our location, that we could say, but we can send you here, and maybe he will be able to assist you as well. So that's also great, because our spaces are small, and we have to be extremely intentional on who we put in there, because success is vital. We want somebody that's going to be able to utilize this space correctly, because it is small, but you also need to have somebody that's going to work the plan. I would hate for someone to get in there and have 2 amazing months and say, well, I don't need this. I'm going to get into my own space. And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, they're regretting that. I really want to be very intentional that we get people that are going to understand the time and understand that it's going to come with its own challenges, but those challenges are kind of in there for a purpose, and you can write your business plan to accept those challenges and to be able to be prepped and ready for them. But yeah, I think we will complement each other well.
Do you have any applicants on the line that have not committed but looking at it seriously?
I've had a gentleman reach out that has some interest, and I've talked to someone else who has some tentative interest, but I have really kept the brakes on that, because I really don't want someone applying for something that's not an option. You're first. If you don't agree, then I'm back to the drawing board and I'm going to start fresh. But
Yeah.
You hate to give somebody like, hey, we could take you, you might be great, because that's not my call. It's not there's people, they have to read through their stuff and see what they're doing and see where they're at in their process. And again, it's trying to be very intentional. You don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to get someone's hopes up that their dream could happen here in Pontiac till I know for sure. I mean, I do know their dreams can happen here in Pontiac, but when
Opportunity awaits, yes.
It does. It does. And y'all should be so proud of yourselves that you have those shops. I mean, that's a huge milestone. Huge.
When we took that, when it was first introduced to the council, those incubator type events we looked at areas up in the northern suburbs. I'm not sure where it was, of St. Charles or something like that.
That Batavia has something
Yeah.
similar, and also Muskegon, Michigan.
Yeah, maybe you could get a relationship up there and see how they have had success with it and what types of folks that they look for.
Absolutely.
I need a motion.
No, I'd certainly make a motion
To
to
approve the
yes.
startup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Oh, I have several people wanting to motion second. Motion by Mike, seconded by Scott, to approve this program. Misty, you're on the roll. Roll call, please.
Giovannini,
Yes.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cowser,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
No.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good job, Misty. I know you've worked hard on this, so we're looking forward to great success. Moving on, we've got Liz back up on the podium now.
Mine is a little
Independence Day.
Yeah. So we were going to talk about our Independence Day celebration. In talking with, I would just like to be able to start entering into agreements with our vendors for the coming year. So we needed to set the date for that. Historically, for a while now, Pontiac has been doing it not on July 4th. I actually found out why. It is minimum double the cost of what we pay for when we're not on July 4th. So just so everyone does know that, because I know we've had that question before. So looking at the calendar, between the Oaks and the Elks Club, the Elks Lodge, July 6th seems to be what will work the best. So that's Saturday, July 6th.
Was that a Saturday?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Should be great for participation, and Jim is guaranteed that the weather will be ideal.
I checked, it's not supposed to rain.
And the heat's going to be.
80 at the top.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I move we go ahead and go with July 6th.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? I think it's a great date, too. Roll call, please.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cowser.
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Jake, I think you're up next. Fire Department grant application.
Tonight, Council, I come before you to request the permission to apply for another federal grant. This time it's the AFG grant, which stands for the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. It's the same grant that we applied for and was awarded back in 2019 for our air packs and our Cascade system. If you remember, that grant requires a 5% matching cost to the overall cost for equipment, and the need for equipment is radios this time. Last year I came before the council to let you know that our dispatch center was switching their infrastructure from a UHF radio system to a Starcom system. At that time I presented a two-part plan. First part was creating a stopgap so that way we could get the equipment and not slow down the process of them switching over. At that time, you gave me approval for money to put towards radios that are used that we would be purchasing from DuPage County. That money was allotted in the budget for this fiscal year. And within the next couple of months, we'll be obtaining those radios and working towards the first of the year of putting those in service. Like I said, that's a stopgap. These are used radios. With our call volume, we should be able to get 1 to 2 years out of those. The second part of the plan that I presented at that time was to utilize a federal grant to purchase new radios. It's not a guarantee that we'll get this grant, but I do think we have a good case for it in our narrative. So I'd like to start working towards applying for that and continuing to apply for it until we're able to purchase the radios. As always, when we're dealing with the larger financial amounts for these grants, I very much highly recommend using Vickers consultation. It's the same one we use for AFG grant. It's the same one that I recommended for the SAFER grant that you gave me approval for a couple of meetings ago. They're very good to work with. I do a lot of the legwork, but they're able to take all the pieces of information and properly apply it in the application, so that way we have the best chance of being successful in the process. So like I said, there is a 5% matching cost. At today's value, those radios collectively would be just shy of $370,000. The city, if we were awarded that, would be 5% of that. And like I said, that's at today's cost. We would not be awarded this until next year. So whatever the cost of inflation would go up, but we would be required to 5% match. Now, our 5% match would be something that I would be working with Jim to get approved for in our next year's budget. So that way we'll at least have the money allotted if we were awarded this. So just shy of about $350,000 plus we would be getting from the federal government to replace our radios to make sure we have the best technology and radios that would last us for a very long time. So tonight I come before you for that permission to apply for this grant and utilizing Vickers Consulting Services again. I'd be happy to answer any questions about the grant or the purpose of getting radios.
Are there any big items on next year's budget that you're going to be looking for?
For equipment wise?
Yeah.
No, I've been very fortunate to have several grant opportunities to continue to replace our rescue and fire and EMS equipment through those grants. I think so far this year's total is around 40,000 utilizing smaller community grants. So I've been able to keep up speed with that. Most of the funding that I ask for in new equipment is usually the 5% cost of these federal grants that I'm applying for. So there's nothing big on the horizon as far as that, as far as new equipment. So
Our past performance on these grants has been outstanding, and of course, 95% of that is due to Jake's doing all the groundwork and getting things lined up. And we've worked with Vickers probably half a dozen times.
yeah, multiple times through the years. Yep.
So we've been very fortunate, and he's done, as usual, an outstanding job. So I think we should have a motion to go ahead with this program.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Jerry Kauser, seconded by Jason Lee to proceed. Roll call, please.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Council.
Jake.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it very much. Moving on, we have the tax subsidy increase.
Yeah,
Jim,
sure.
you wanna-
I've had over the last couple of weeks, a couple opportunities to talk with Mr. Larson and Good Times Taxi and our taxi subsidy program. He just mentioned rising costs, and I got to looking at it. Our last subsidy increase was in 2006, which put us at $2.50 per ride. I come before you now with this recommendation to move that to $3 per ride. And why I'm doing it now is because that has been part of the tax levy, and which will be due by the end of the year, and to have an idea now where that would come from. That would increase about $3,000 a year, moving from $2.50 to $3. And that would help out the residents age 62 and over. If you're not overly familiar with the taxi subsidy program, that anyone age 62 and over can come to City Hall, get a taxi subsidy card, and then that entitles them to right now a $2.50 per ride. You get 2 rides in one calendar day, so a round trip would count as 2 rides. It also that excludes, you could still use it for if there were emergency trips that had to be taken. You could theoretically then move past 2 rides per day if there was an emergency. But right now, that's kind of the extent of what the subsidy is. So just asking to kind of pre-plan this levy.
The show bus subsidy is completely, is that just a blanket amount?
It is, yeah. It's not a per ride fare.
Yeah.
It's an agreement we have with them.
How much is this used?
So
Do we have numbers?
Yeah, so I want to say I just did it. So it's around 25 to 3,000 rides a year is about what we have. We levied $20,000 for it. We're spending right now about probably 24,000. I think we're a little over what we levied. So
Well, on this bill list, $552.50 for, that's a 2-week period, right?
yeah, he comes in typically every few weeks, every 2-3 weeks.
I would motion acceptance of the increase for next year, or for moving forward till we increase
Is
it
the levy?
again.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Second. Okay, motion by Kelly, seconded by Scott. Roll call, please.
Lee,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Surplus property recycle.
Yep.
You want to touch that one?
Sure. Not that government are hoarders or anything,
Okay.
but staff at City Hall has been doing some work. And as you move through City Hall, there's a lot of equipment sitting around, a lot of electronic equipment that hasn't been used in a long time. It's either obsolete, broken, or just not used. And so they've put together a list, a lot of electronic equipment is phase one of kind of the cleanup plan here. And so with the help of the staff and with Andrew, we've gone through a number of pieces of equipment, and we've created this list of surplus property. So what we're asking to do, what brought this on was the Livingston County free e-recycle event that's coming up. We've contacted them that the government can participate in it, and so we would like to declare this property surplus, give staff, if authorized staff, to have the ability to choose dispositions for it, whether it can be e-recycled, whether it could be auctioned on Gov deals, donated to a charity, or just junked or recycled. And I ask that simply because I'm not sure what all the e-recycle, I mean, there may be a few things in here that they just won't take, and we'd like to dispose of everything, so.
And we do have a semi available.
Yeah, Chris is thrilled about transportation. Actually, he's pretty happy that we'll be getting rid of a number of items. We actually have a few items that we weren't exactly sure what they did. They're so old.
Oh, boy.
So, they plugged in.
Applause, applause. You're going to have room for more desks.
Yeah, but we're not going to get rid of the microfiche because we eventually may need that.
Yeah.
We do have some records that are on microfiche.
As most of you know, if you've ever made a trip into the lower level of City Hall, there is, hoarders might be a kind way to put it.
Yes.
I think Bob felt that everything was reusable. So we'll
Phase
blame
two-
it on him right now.
Phase 2 will be large property, and then phase 3 will be records.
Okay,
So,
good. I know Misty's been helping with that too, I believe. Okay.
I would motion that we dispose of all this stuff. Applause, applause.
Yes. Motion by Kelly, seconded by Jerry. Roll call, please.
Causer,
yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes. Very good, thank you.
If I could just comment that it makes for a much more appealing environment in City Hall when you come in, and by the time you get done with this, it will look a lot more professional
Agreed.
here.
Yep. Plus, we may find something that's valuable.
Yeah, it's true. Could
There's
be
quite-
treasure there.
Quite a treasure back there, yeah.
That's right.
Shake the cans for money.
Asbestos inspection,
Yes, so the city has acquired 2 properties for demolition, 222 East Timber, which we acquired a little while ago, and then just recently 201 South Main Street. The next step in that process is asbestos inspections. We were kind of waiting until we picked up the Main Street property to schedule those, so Deegan could come down and do both inspections at one time. It'll save us a little money in the long run. Attached for your consideration is a proposal by Deegan, the Deegan Group, to come and do those inspections and give us a recommendation on what it is that they find.
What's the cost of the inspection?
So it's on here,
I couldn't find it anywhere.
I couldn't either.
really?
There's a chart for their, what do you call it, cost? That's the liability insurance. You need a magnifying glass.
I wonder if maybe it's missing
Yeah, I think we're missing a page.
okay.
Yeah, because I looked too and I didn't find one.
We're missing page 2.
It's not $3,000, it's
one,
under
and there's
$3,000. I
page
think it's
three.
$2,700
Page 2 is
but I will, no, total. total. I can find out.
Well, there's 2 3s.
Are there 2 3s?
There's 2 3s. I think there's more to this one.
Yeah,
Got 1,
right,
3, and 5.
right.
Thank you about it.
Did we get a motion?
No.
If not, I will make a motion that we accept the proposal at Jim's
I'll second it.
recommendation.
We have a motion to approve Jim making sure that this is well within the budget. Roll call, please.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes,
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cowser.
Yes.
Super, thank you. There's a couple more properties we're going to be looking at later on, but we'll go into that. We do have need of executive session, so I did have about 18 mayor's comments, but I guess the biggest one would be a reminder. I'm sure most of you got a note about the 10th anniversary of Casey Colmeyer's passing, and we'll be doing a tree service or planting out at by the dog park. Be very nice if everybody could attend, if possible. It's October 30th. I was going to ask, but Dave isn't here. I was interested to find out of our chicken coops, how many have survived this far this year. But I only know of 2 that are active, from what I understand, so I was going to find out about that. I did have a question about the city trolley routes. I had a couple of people asked me if there was a published, and I said, well, they're on our webpage, I'm sure, and other things, but is there any other postings for that? Liz, do you,
I don't know what you mean. Sorry.
the trolley when it's running?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
on Saturdays through October. Yeah, yeah. It'll end at the end of October.
Yeah, I know that, but is there a posting of where it stops?
It starts behind Route 66
Yeah.
Museum, and
Okay.
then it does a loop and stops
Okay.
there again.
Okay,
I wrote it 2 weeks ago with some family members who came down, and he seems to make up his own route sometimes, but he picks up people as he goes, you know, so.
okay, well,
I don't know.
there's just, if there was any other posted stops, we should probably put those onto our webpage. Yeah, see what we can do there. Other than that, city council comments. Anything exciting? Frank?
Last meeting, we discussed the ice rink,
Yes?
and I ran across a site. I know that weather is always consideration. I ran across a site that had and sold, excuse me, artificial ice. And I've seen this. They have an artificial rink at Navy Pier, where they do the, I forget what they call it, at Christmas. Supposedly, I mean, you could use it all year round if you wanted to, but the maintenance of it is much less than real ice. And I don't know if this is the right forum to throw it out, or who would actually do it, but.
When Taylor first explored that,
Uh-huh.
that was one of the first things he explored was the artificial ice, and it was, he said, all the reports he's seen, it was rough at best. For beginner skaters, it wasn't very skater friendly.
Well, I'm just going by what I've seen,
Yeah.
and how long ago was this?
3 years.
Okay,
Been that long?
well, we're in the same time
When
frame.
he first started looking into it.
Well, I think-
Everything's worth revisiting.
Technology's
I think
changed.
rough
Yeah.
ice is better than no ice.
Right,
Well,
better
I
to
mean,
have some.
Right.
Misty was talking about bringing people to Pontiac, and I remember when I first came on, the area from which we drew people, significant, and that was the weather was good that year.
Mm-hmm.
Not real good, but
It was good for the ice rink.
It was
Yeah.
better than it's been.
yeah, better than last year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I'm just throwing that out for consideration. And I have no idea what it would cost.
Well, we can do
I
some
wonder
investigating and
what
find
closure
out.
would cost. There's all kinds of them.
Yeah.
Keep the temperature, steady 50 degrees.
Yeah. City Administrator.
The main thing is I would like to schedule a council of the whole, a committee of the whole, as we discuss some planning downtown prior. I was looking at maybe next week, Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
What time are you looking at?
Well, it's 5:30 or 6 has been what seems to have been the best for most.
I prefer Tuesday, but I could make Wednesday work.
Either day is fine with me, but I won't get here until 6:15.
Wednesday is the only day that works for me.
Tuesday's best for me. Tuesday.
I'm wide open.
I can do either.
Wide
You have
open.
permission?
Permission.
Okay, good, yes.
Wednesday then?
I can do Wednesday.
Wednesday?
It's fine with me.
I'm
What
good.
time?
Yes,
Wednesday?
3 or 6?
What time?
Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
What's that date?
Yep, Wednesday is the
25th.
25th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then lastly, it's been a busy week, this last week beforehand, and with fall coming, just wanted to, one more time, give a thank you to Chris and his crew. Done a fantastic job getting the city ready to go. They've been staying busy checking on the fiber companies and their endeavors. Frontier may not be back up yet. There was a line that was hit at Livingston and
Really?
Plum Street.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
So I was told that there's like 6,000 fibers under there that they have to piece together. So some I think are back up, but some are not. They were hopeful that it was going to be done this last week, but it's obviously we're still working in this next week. So, and then tomorrow will be a unique day here at City Hall. Greg Knowles will be starting as coming in for building and zoning. So we'll have a new director, a current director, and a former director all in the office at the same time.
Oh, nice.
So Greg will be getting some great hands-on training as his position begins. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Good news all the way around.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Public comments. They're shaking their heads, so no public comments. We will need a motion to go into executive session. So moved by Frank, seconded by Scott. Roll call, please.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Hauser.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Cranford.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Thank you. And we'll be about 3 or 4 minutes, and we will ring in the executive session.